Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about the stock market and the week ahead. It is another crazy week coming up in the stock market, some big earnings coming out, and definitely as an investor, these are definitely the peak times as being an investor. You know, they come around 4 times every year, and these are definitely the busiest times where you can have stocks that move up a lot and you make a lot of money, or they can move the other way and they can move down. And I was going to say you can lose a lot of money, but those are actually then the fantastic times to go buy in some great companies that are sold off. Maybe they've overreacted to some sort of earnings. And last week was a busy one. There was some busy news out there. I think I'll just top of my head, I've gone through most of the earnings and conference calls from last week. They were all pretty good. There wasn't any earnings or conference calls that I went, oh, that wasn't a great quarter, or management didn't do well there. I mean, obviously Tesla got a little bit of stick. I thought their earnings were actually okay. I think this is probably worth a video on its own at some point talking about Tesla, but I feel like Tesla's got a lot of pressure on it at the moment because I think a lot of people have seen what Tesla did from probably like the end of 2019 through 2020 and don't realise like the run up it's had already, and kind of think that it's going to carry on doing what it's done through 2020 when realistically, you know, the earnings have caught up. It needs a little bit of a take a little bit of a break, have a breather, let the earnings catch back up again, let the valuation catch up a little bit again, and let the company progress further down the line. And I think that was one that people need to realise, okay, Tesla have kind of gone from now proving they're a company that can make profit and can mass produce cars, and now developing the next step where they take a lot of market share and develop even other parts of the company. And I thought their earnings were a very good building block for that. I think, like I say, probably worth a video at some point, but I just felt like there were so many Tesla live streams on Monday that I never touched it really. And to be honest with you, when I do actual like earnings videos, they don't do that well, so I try staying away from them unless there's something kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, Teledoc was one that dropped a little bit. I mean, I thought their earnings were actually pretty good. The conference call was pretty good. Some good little hidden gems in there about clients they've signed and how they will play effects later in the year. So that's a newish position for me that's doing the perfect thing of dipping down so I could buy a little bit more at cheaper prices. Pinterest was one that also went down. I thought their earnings were solid. I generally think Wall Street have totally read their earnings wrong. When you listen to what they're doing on the e-commerce side of it, it was fantastic. I was blown away with the numbers that Pinterest put in. But because user growth slowing down for some reason, the whole earnings were taking negative. And you got to realise that, okay, yeah, obviously that's going to happen. You've had so many people at home improvements and all that. But now they've got more users. You got to realise how Pinterest are like monetizing them, and they're monetizing them even better than ever with the adverts and then even e-commerce onto the platform now. I was like, yeah, that's one that I was shocked with how much it went down. And the thing is with Pinterest is the valuation on Pinterest is like okay, like it's not overvalued anymore, which it probably was at $90, but it's not undervalued. Undervalued for me for Pinterest is somewhere like $50-$40. So that's the only thing that's stopping me really from buying it. But I thought the reaction to earnings was so wrong. But yeah, Shopify, theirs was absolutely brilliant. Their conference call, the numbers they put in, that was a brilliant quarter. One of the best ones I've seen for a while. And then there was a few more. I think Boeing pretty much went and said, Boeing were just going on the lines again of like, yep, there's still no air travel yet, so yeah, we're doing awful. That was basically, they could have done their earnings call from like an hour down to about 10 seconds by just saying that. So that was pretty much Boeing's. Facebook's were really good as well. I don't know if I missed any more off that list, but Amazon's, they totally reversed and their earnings were incredibly good. The profit beat was amazing. So yeah, Amazon's was solid once again. And yeah, I think AMD, I still not looked into AMD or M-Phase because I know they had AMD reversed, even like Apple reversed as well, but AMD reversed. Their earnings were pretty good. And yeah, so that's kind of like last week anyway, but we'll get on to this week. So if you could smash the like button if you appreciate these videos, if you're new, subscribe if you find it absolutely useful, and yeah, if you want to join the Patreon, links in the description. I always post when I'm buying and selling things, and also there's exclusive content on there. So yeah, we're doing a portfolio review today on the Patreon, and there's plenty of other exclusive videos on there. I'm actually focusing a little bit more on Patreon going forward than YouTube. I'm just a bit, I've lost a bit of motivation over the last kind of couple of weeks on YouTube, just that I'm getting a bit fed up with like all the kind of like clickbaity stuff and stuff, everything like that. I'm just kind of like, I'm just like, nah. So I'm enjoying making Patreon videos a lot more at the moment, but anyway, that's probably a story for another day anyway. But if you do want to start getting invested, in some links to some brokers as well in the description, and some of them you also get free shares, which is pretty good. But yeah, we'll get on to this week, because this week is another big week in the earnings front. So Monday today, nothing too much, I believe. It's worth saying that Boohoo on the UK front is reporting earnings, which won't be on this list, and also I believe Turtle Beach is missing off this list. So those are two companies that I'm very interested in. Turtle Beach especially, because I'm looking at trying to probably get out of that position now within the next 12 months. And also Boohoo, obviously that's my second biggest UK holding, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, on the Monday, I've still not gone through. I know Berkshire Hathaway did their annual meeting. I've not gone through it yet. I always love listening to Warren Buffett, so I'll try to do that at some point. But yeah, we've got Berkshire Hathaway. iRobot, this is one I actually owned. I used to own iRobot. For some of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys from when I used to own iRobot are still here. But yeah, I bought iRobot in, I think it was 2018, maybe. I don't know, some of you guys probably, you guys that might be in here might know exactly that. But yeah, I bought iRobot, I believe it was 2018, it might be 2019. Yeah, they had earnings that was horrible. The stock went from like $100 down to like $45 or something. And yeah, I bought iRobot at like $45, sold it at like $90, made nearly 100% return on it. It was under like a yearish as well. It was a really good return. I think it even went a little bit higher. But yeah, I made my money. It's all about money, and for me, I always invest 2 to 5 years, try and look to double my money in that time. And I did it with iRobot, took it, moved on to the next one, and yeah, it's a company I do really like. But yeah, that's probably where I would be looking to buy if I was considering iRobot. But yeah, made some nice money on that one. Solar Edge, another solar play. Picks up a little bit on Tuesday. Pfizer. This is interesting. Pfizer, for me, if I was building a dividend portfolio, which I don't really have a dividend portfolio, I tend to buy growth stocks. That's mainly my focus. But I will pick up value plays. I will pick up dividend plays if I think they're a good opportunity. But Pfizer, for me, I probably would never get the share price appreciation. I love to get like double the share price appreciation over the next 5 years. Pfizer, for me, I probably don't see it doubling in share price. But if I was solely in it for a dividend game, I would put Pfizer in my portfolio. That at the moment, I think it's just got a little bit of heat because of this vaccine stuff that's going on. But you're picking up like a 4% dividend yield on that one. And if you were someone that collected dividend yields, 4% dividend yield would be very attractive right now, and they've still got a lot in the pipeline. I think even AstraZeneca is very much similar to these guys as well. But yeah, that's just a bit of dividend stuff for you there if anyone's a dividend investor watching me. CVS Health. I should have bought that company. I think it was in 2018. There was a bit of a dip. I should have bought that one then. Not a little bit of a fan of CVS Health if it gets the right valuations. Corsair, obviously a company that I own. Be interesting to see what kind of numbers they put out. I hope they're strong. I hope the stimulus check helps them out a little bit as well. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Under Armour, Ferrari. Ferrari was one of my first ever stocks. I bought it after the IPO. I believe the company IPO'd in like 2016, 2017, and it's right around where I nearly started investing. And yeah, after the IPO, I think it went down a little bit, and I was like, okay, I think this company's undervalued. I'll buy it. And yeah, I made a good return off Ferrari. I held the company for maybe a year, 2 years, and made about 140%, I believe, on it. So I've always got a little bit of emotional attachment to Ferrari. It's one of my first companies I ever invested in, and yeah, I can't even remember what I bought it for, but I bought it for a really good price. And then we've got Skills, obviously. I'll more than likely make a video on this one. I have a feeling the stock will move off it. The only little thing is we have had preliminary earnings. Preliminary earnings were strong. Nevertheless, Wall Street, it could go up, it could go down. We'll see what happens. I can't tell you. Earnings is a 50-50. It's black. It's red or black, really. Situation. It could go up, could go down. But what we're seeing from the preliminary earnings, it looks pretty strong. Hopefully, we get an idea of how well things are developing in the company side of it. And there was a video the other day. Andrew Paradise did an interview on CNBC. I actually never did a video about that interview, but I was a bit unsure. I wanted to kind of use clips in it, but then I've done something similar before like that, and YouTube have gone, nah, that's copyright, we're taking that off you. So I've seen many other people use clips from CNBC on their YouTube videos, but whenever I've done it before, I've been hit by YouTube going, nope, you're not having that on YouTube. That's where we're at with Skills. I think the earnings should be good. I just don't know how Wall Street will take it. Obviously, we've had preliminary earnings. We'll see how it goes, But more than likely, there'll be a video at some point about that. Activision. I'm quite a big fan of Activision. T-Mobile, Virgin Galactic. I believe they've actually moved their earnings back. Upwork. I should have bought that one. Upwork is one I should have bought. I looked at Upwork and I was like, the valuation's gone a little bit up too much, but it carried on going up, so maybe I should have bought it. Zillow. Zillow's interesting. That's a very interesting company. Lyft. Not a huge Lyft fan. Match, which is basically Tinder. GM. SunPower, more solar plays. Oh, a big one there. InMode. Obviously, once again, these guys have brought preliminary earnings out. The InMode's preliminary earnings were one of the strongest earnings I've ever seen in the stock market. Their earnings were fantastic. The stock, I believe, was only up 3%, I believe, on the day that they brought their preliminary earnings out. Unbelievable. These earnings, the thing is as well with InMode is they normally bring preliminary earnings out, the stock goes up, and then it comes around to the actual earnings, and then the stock goes down. And that's what I think might happen with InMode. I believe it could happen with Skills. And InMode earnings, which is fantastic. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, from what I've seen, they were brilliant, and I've got a lot of confidence in them. You know what? I'm out of all of them. I'm kind of looking forward to listening to management. The management is always really good at the conference calls, and gives you really good insight in how the company's going. We'll see what happens there. I think I'm up 150%, I believe, right now on that one, which is really good. And then we've got PayPal. I love PayPal, great company. The only problem is the valuation. Rocket companies, I like these guys. The only thing I've always struggled with this is how much is pulled forward at the moment, and then when interest rates go higher, it's just, that's the only thing that puts me off it. Etsy, I love Etsy. Same again, the valuation side of it is just a bit too much, but a great company nonetheless. Uber just lose too much money for me for the valuation they're at. I used to own Uber. I made some good money off it, but I couldn't get back in the current valuations. Twilio, Fastly's had a bit of a rough time recently. That's quite a busy day. Thursday, Moderna should I say. Fiverr, very much like Upwork. Wayfair, and then after the close is quite a big one. Thursday after close is probably the big one. I believe this is the day that also Boohoo and Turtle Beach are on, so Thursday is definitely going to be a mental one. Obviously Square, one I own, we'll see how they do. Should be pretty good, I hope. We've got Roku, never owned that one. Don't know if any of you guys own that one. Peloton, I actually would like to see what Peloton do. They historically do move quite a bit off earnings, so yeah. AMC, Cloudflare. I think a few guys play Cloudflare, and I've never got into it myself. Cloudflare for me, it's never got to the point where I've gone, okay, I like the growth enough and the valuation enough. I think that's why I've never owned it. If it's the right company, because sometimes I get that mixed up with another one, but I can't remember the one I'm getting mixed up with. But if that's the right one that I'm thinking of, yeah. And then we've got Beyond Meat. Obviously, that's a big one. I believe Beyond Meat, this will probably be, in my opinion, Beyond Meat's last horrible quarter. So, yeah, this is very exciting. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think from what... If I was to give you an opinion on it, because I always want to try to give you my opinions on it before it goes into earnings. My opinion is that this probably won't be as bad as the last 2 quarters. Like I say, I think this is the last horrible one though. From what numbers we've got, there has been a bit of a reopening in Q1. Not huge. It will show more in Q2, and that's why I think the horrible quarters will make its the last appearance. So yeah, I think. Yeah, this will be the last horrible quarter. I think it should still be a bit better. But yeah, I think this will be the last. Q2 will be the big turnaround. So yeah, looking forward to Beyond Meat. We'll see what happens. But I'll be listening to the conference call, see how a lot of these partnerships are ramping up. So yeah. Dropbox, obviously, one I own. I've owned that one. I believe I've owned Dropbox for like 3 years now. So yeah, I would love that one to go. I would love Dropbox to go to a $40 stock, and then I would sell out and make 100% profit. In fact, if it did go to $40, I would actually make a bit more than 100%. But yeah, I mean it would. That's where I'm looking to sell it. And yeah, GoPro, Datadog, and then Friday is probably once again one. This is really important for me, DraftKings, because DraftKings. Obviously, DraftKings is one of my biggest positions. Obviously, on the US side, Facebook, InMode, DraftKings, Facebook, InMode, DraftKings, and Shopify are my 4 big ones that I have at the moment. So yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, InMode preliminaries were good. Facebook was good. Shopify was good. So yeah, that kind of my last kind of big one that I have coming up is DraftKings. So yeah, this is important from being one of my biggest positions, but as well as this, DraftKings is going to give me a massive insight into how good the online gambling gaming spaces, iGaming spaces in the Michigan launch and other parts as well. So DraftKings is going to probably move my portfolio a big amount. And also it's going to give me a good insight into 2 other companies that I own, which is GNOG and Gang. So DraftKings will move my portfolio quite a bit and will be quite, will give me a good insight into 2 other my positions that I have. So yeah, that's actually, if you to say which is the most important one for me right now, it's actually DraftKings, because the Michigan launch is huge for DraftKings, so we need to get some numbers from them, and also because that also gives me an insight into GNOG and also Gang. So yeah, that's actually probably the most important one for me, actually going into next week. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I am very confident in that one. If you were to, I don't like as a long-term investor, I don't like making short-term predictions, but if you were forcing me to predict something, my prediction is DraftKings blow numbers out of the water. We'll see what happens, but I'm very confident in them guys. So yeah, we'll see exactly what happens there. But yeah, Nicola, wow, Kronos Group. I know a few guys are playing this one. I think a few guys are playing that one. I've seen a few guys, especially on Discord. If you guys are in the Discord or the Patreon members, I've seen a few of you guys mention this one before, that you're interested in this one. A bit of a MJ play, but obviously, I like my Planet 13 myself. But yeah, nothing wrong with that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Definitely another big week. We'll see what happens. Some really, really big ones coming up. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you did. If you're new, make sure you subscribe as well. And I'll see you on the next video.